to the Anakin 9.5 Beats the show. Let's get it.
Anakin Latidos. Anakin Latidos.
I just want to start by saying today, I hope everybody's doing good. This is my podcast, and it's sponsored to you by Us 2 Entertainment, UTE now. Thanks for coming into my channel. I also want to appreciate all the people that subscribe to my channel, the people that hit the like button, and the people that comment. Is very important to me. It's been a long road to success, and we still got to keep those numbers up and keep things going on so that I can continue to give you the best product that I can give you as far as my YouTube channel. Let's give it up for that right there. But today, man, I want to talk about the balance in life, all right? And I'm just going to give you a few pointers, man, a few tips that you should do. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married or you're single, you dig. It's very important that I share this information with you because some people don't want to do that. You know what I mean? They don't want to give you information. They just want to give you a hard time, to be honest with you. Balancing your life is very important. As you get older, when you get 30 years old, you should already have your best job that you want or doing something that you really like. If you in college and you already got your master's degree, got your bachelor's degree, you want to keep getting your PhD to be a doctor. By 30 years old, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Wrap it up. And at the end of the day, it's important that once you get those degrees, even if you don't use them, it's okay. It's not a problem. Because you might want to do something else. But at least you got something in the back that you can fall on just in case you really find a job that's going to pay you $100,000 a year or more than that. But the balance is getting the proper rest. Okay? Some people don't like me. I don't have to sleep a lot. I can get 4 to 6 hours of sleep and I'm fine. But sometimes I find myself overworking myself and then I get agitated. I get upset to a degree because I don't have time for myself. And that's important too. As you get your rest, that's one of the tips. You have to find time for yourself to recharge. And some people don't get that. When you're in a relationship or you're married or you got too many friends, some people just don't get it. And they don't recognize that, you give them time to recharge. Everybody needs time to recharge. That's part of balancing your life. That's the key to success. All right. Take time off from your job. I'm not saying take every week off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not only saying take a vacation. You should get at least 2 vacations out the year if you're working. And even if you have your own business, you still should take 2 weeks off. You should get 14 days out of 365 days. Let's clap for that. In retrospect, you should take time off for yourself. When you're in a relationship and you're married, you really need to find time between your marriage and your relationship where you recharge. All this is going to come together like a snowball effect. Because, sometimes when you're working a lot and then you come home and you put time in your marriage, you put time in your relationship, and you don't find time for yourself, this shit can get ugly. Yeah, and I'm not saying when you got time off from work or doing what you're supposed to do or doing what you want to do when it comes to making money. I'm not saying that you go to the bar and go hang out with your friends. I'm not saying that you go out of town for 2 or 3 days and stay away from your companion. It should be a balance between both of y'all when it comes to you and your companion, no matter if you're married or you're in a relationship. Y'all have to find a common ground when it comes to the things that y'all like about each other. And the things that y'all don't like about each other, I feel like personally, you should work those kinks out, right? You should know when to and when not to. Say, for instance, if a person is clingy and you're not clingy, the person that's not clingy has to find time to balance out giving that person not their space, but their love, the love and affection that they feel like. But do you have to do it all the time? Well, that's a good question. Because if you do it all the time, then that's not really being you. That's where the balance is. Because that person might not need personal space. Okay? Let's give it up for that. The other person might not need space. They might just say, hey, I just want to be around you all the time. I want to be up under you all the time. But that right there can be a problem because that's not balancing out. That's what you call overload. Yeah, that means you're doing too much. But on the flip side, if you're that person that don't for that, then you have to make that time and do it efficiently and effectively. You know, like make plans so that person won't feel left out. And you do have a lot of relationships and you have a lot of marriages where people would literally forget and don't do what they're supposed to do. And sometimes I'm guilty of that, but the thing is, you're always supposed to work on that. You're always supposed to work on balancing the things that are uncommon when it comes to things that y'all dislike about. Now, things that y'all like about each other, okay, that's always going to work. And sometimes you have to go back to that. The things that work at the beginning of your marriage or relationship or your job, you have to go back to the beginning where it all started. When you had that extra kick, like, oh man, this is fresh. This is new. And always think about the situation. Like, think about some of the good things that comes with you balancing your life and balancing your relationships. And use that, because those are tools. But let's get back to the dislikes. Let's say this person like to wash dishes, this person like to clean up, keep things neat, and then the other person don't. Well, the person that don't like to clean up and don't like to keep things neat, they should work on those things. Let's give it up for that right there. Yeah, you should work on those things because that's something that's in-house. That's something that you have to do every day, you know, and it shouldn't fall on one person. Just like it shouldn't fall on one person to just love you and care about you all the time and you don't do shit. You know what I mean? You have to take the initiative to do the things that you don't like for that other person. And if one person is doing and the other person is not, then it's going to be a problem. Now, how does all of these things work? Communication. Talk about the things that you don't like. And you should talk about them more often than as less. Because if you don't talk about those things, then you and the other person, even the people at your job, is always going to be wondering. And then they're going to assume things. They're going to come up with assumptions. And then they're going to come up with their own narrative of how things should be. And jobs are not perfect. Relationships are not perfect. No, sir. Let's give it up. But yeah, that person that don't like to do the cleanup and don't like to do stuff, man, take the time out to do that because you don't know how the other person going to feel. They're going to feel good when they see you do it. And they'll tell you thank you. And if you don't say thank you and you don't acknowledge them when they do something out of their comfort zone, then that's not balancing out the relationship. It's not balancing out the marriage, and it's not balancing out your job. You know, when you're at your job, Go out of your comfort zone. Sometimes go out your way to help the next person. Uh, don't wait till your boss come up to you and come up with a task for you and want you to do this. For example, if I work at a restaurant business, they like to do tidy stuff like clean up and dust. Come in on your job, and when there's nothing to do, you don't have any tables, or you cooking and there's nothing to do, clean up or organize some things. And I guarantee you, your boss or your manager will appreciate that. Last but not least, let's talk about financial stability. We all must learn how to save money, man. I mean, this is America, people. This is not doggone Japan. You did what they tell us what to do. You know what I'm saying? They tell us in Japan, or tell them in Japan how many shoes they can wear. Your feet can't be over 6 inches or some shit like that. The key to success in America is save your money. There's no other option. And even if you're making $100 million, even if you're making $1 billion, it's just some factor in America that you have to save money. And sometimes you have to take a break from spending a lot of money. You got to get out of your comfort zone. Have more than one savings account. Have a safe. Put money up. You should put money up from 6 months to a year. You should put some money up and take a year off from overspending and overstimulating yourself. If you have a partner, yes, you can have a checking account, you can have a savings account, and the other person can have a checking account, the other person can have a savings account. But eventually, at some point, y'all need to put some money together. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a tree with a whole bunch of doggone leaves and tree trunks and stuff. You know what I mean? You have a whole bunch of trees and you just let the money fall. Let it rain on you. So basically, that's what it's all about when it comes to balancing your life and the key success. The key to success is balance all the way through. Work on your attitude. Work on your posture. Work on how you talk to people. Work on how you receive information. And always make sure that you communicate when you have the opportunity to communicate with that person. Do not keep things to yourself. I'm guilty of that. Because if you keep things to yourself, you're going to ball it up and then you're going to explode like a volcano. Be effective, be efficient, and be active. And all these things that I tried to share with you when it comes to the key to success of balancing in your life. Very important. It will take you a long way. And always bet on yourself when you do these things. But in the meantime, I'll come back with another one. I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast show. More to come. Take care of yourself. Put God first. And I'll get at you. And also make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. All right. Talk to you later.